So audio's down, but let me get the audio back up. So yeah, we should be streaming now. Should be going live on Facebook and YouTube. I see it on Facebook. If you could just go check out YouTube and make sure that everything's running smooth.
Yeah. Let me see what we got here.
What's up, Kevron? How's it going? We're doing a live companion show tonight, Clemson versus Wake Forest. We're going to be watching it with you and giving our comments as the game goes on. So hope you're excited about being a part of the show tonight. If you had any questions, concerns, emotional outbursts, please make them known. Make them known in the comments section. And also, like I said, we're live on YouTube as well, live on Facebook. Houston is hiding. I see him. I see him.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm right here.
I
Been
see
here
him
the whole time. Just getting this shared out on my stream. I'm sharing on Facebook right now.
As Kevron said, right now it's 7-0 Clemson, and Greg Fan gets in, says Barry Sanders, Travis Etienne each have 523 career carries. Sanders has 35,000 yards. That can't be right. 3,556 yards and 48 touchdowns. Etienne has 4,720 yards and 56 touchdowns. So Barry Sanders is considered to be the third best college football player behind Herschel Walker and Archie Griffin. I'm assuming that you're probably going to put Travis Etienne in there as well, especially as well as he's done. On track to be 3 year in a row All ACC player or ACC Player of the Year. And obviously, as you can see on the screen here, Heisman Trophy candidate. We'll have the scoreboard up as well when it gets pulled up. And Trevor Lawrence has a fake to the right side and goes straight to Braden Galloway for a huge pickup to start first down. Great to see a pass over the middle start things up here. We're watching live on YouTube TV and just following along with the scoreboard there. And again, another pass out to Cornell Powell to the right-hand side. Gets about 5 yards or so. Clemson seems to be going pretty fast right now. 5 minutes, 20 seconds left on the clock. Trevor Lawrence looks over to the sideline to decide what he's going to do. What clock are you on right now, Houston?
I'm at 5:27 right now, so I'm about.
Can you refresh it at all or anything to make it faster, or you want me to slow it down? Travis Etienne breaks off a big run up the middle for a good 20 yards again.
Yeah. Hold on. Well, I don't know if I can refresh it because this is generally how it is. We're generally behind on it, so I can give my thoughts on this once we get towards a stopping point on the drive. If we get to the end zone, I'm just getting now on the Travis Etienne run.
Okay, gotcha. So I'll try to. You tell me when you're at 4 minutes, 37 seconds, Houston.
All right. I will let you know.
And tell me when you're at 4 minutes, 37 seconds.
2, 1, 4:37.
All right. All right, so we should be synced up now. Again, we're at I'm at 4:32. Is that about right? 4:30?
I'm at 4:29. Now I think I might be ahead of you now by a second.
All right, good. So we're at 4:24, 4:23, 4:22. That's what we're doing on the clock right now. It'll catch up for you guys in the stream. If you're watching the stream, you're a little bit behind us. So apologies there for the confusion. But 4 minutes, 10 seconds left, 15 seconds on the play clock. Trevor Lawrence back to pass, looks like, but he's going to fake the handoff to Etienne and look deep down the middle, wide open for an Amari Rodgers who drops the ball. Looks like he was paying attention to that goalpost there.
Yeah, it almost looked like he was trying to catch it like a pro, get both feet in. I'm not sure there. I got to see this replay real quick to see what exactly happened. I think he heard footsteps from the goalpost, and it almost looked like he alligator armed that that catch a little bit. Gotta look it in.
All right, they're coming back, looking over to the sideline. Trevor Lawrence again got 2 to his left and 2 to his right, but looks like Wake Forest calls a timeout, 3rd and 10. They want to take advantage of this 3rd down. That's what's important is 3rd downs and making sure that you take advantage of those. So looks like they're calling timeout to talk things over, which, makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm kind of interested to see what they drop on 3rd and 10 is almost like 3rd and manageable when you have Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne and now Braden Galloway. I'd be interested to see if he's not a big target here on 3rd and a long distance play, especially over the middle. I feel like that's going to be something that opens up. It's a zone and a blitz buster if you have a very good tight end, and that's what Braden Galloway is. And it's good to see Cornell Powell get started early in this action as well.
Yeah, thank you. If you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube, we really appreciate the support. Make sure you like and share the video with your friends and Tiger fans and watch it with us. Eventful time in college football right now. Florida State just barely up on Georgia Tech. And a big upset today. Iowa State losing to Louisiana. We'll talk about that on Monday. But tonight we're talking about Clemson Tigers. And Trevor Lawrence gets the ball again. Looks like he's going to delay handoff to Travis Etienne, who has a huge hole up the middle, makes a big cut to the right-hand side, going to take it to the sideline, and gets out of bounds with about 3 yards to go there. Great moves, great cuts, and a great play drawn up for sure there all around.
Morgan, I feel like this is going to be a play that is going to frustrate a lot of teams in the ACC going forward this year. Travis is starting his night out like he wants to win the Heisman tonight. So is Trevor. Trevor's had a pretty good start after that first drive, but Travis is running like a man possessed right now.
And we've got another timeout, it looks like, or at least a pause in the action from Wake Forest. They're still not on the same page with where they want to be, so they're going to talk it over again. And that bodes well for the Clemson Tigers, of course. Looking at the game leaders right now, you have Trevor Lawrence, 6 completions, 8 passes, 91 yards, no touchdowns. Travis Etienne, 8 carries, 79 yards. It says no touchdowns, but Trevor Lawrence did run for a touchdown. So that was no passing touchdowns. He didn't run for a touchdown there earlier on in the first quarter.
Yeah, I'd expect a heavy dose in these goal line situations of Trevor and Travis. You could see a similar play that Trevor scored on earlier, a little fake inside, going to the outside, or we could just see Travis do Travis things right here.
Looks like you have 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Motions the running back, hands it off to Etienne, who almost breaks a tackle to get into the end zone, but gets stopped about 1 or 2 yards short there. Looks like, again, they're doing heavy dose Travis Etienne right now to start the game out. I don't think that's a bad thing, and they're doing a hurry up, trying to catch Wake Forest off guard, and Travis Etienne tries to jump the line to get in. It doesn't look like he got it either, but he got a little bit closer, so we're going to say maybe 3rd down and a half a yard.
I want to see if he gets this. I don't know. Now they need to
very close.
This. I think he got that. Look at this. If you can see it, yeah, he stretched across. That's a touchdown, I think.
I think that's pretty close. I think it warrants a review for sure. If they're not going to review it, then I think that you just run behind Braden Galloway and go.
Oh, there's Trevor.
That's what they called up. Looks like Wake Forest had sniffed out the run right behind Braden Galloway, and so Trevor Lawrence looked at it and said, hey, I'm going to take it myself, and took it in for the 1-yard rush. So that is 2 touchdowns for Mr. Lawrence now. 2 rushing touchdowns, actually, for the man in the orange helmet and white uniform.
I think the encouraging part about this is outside of the first drive, our offensive line has looked really sharp. Maybe getting out that first drive jitters at the beginning of the game, but ever since then they've been mauling and road grading for Travis. They've had great pass protection, and that's showing now. Tigers up 14.
So let us know where you're watching from over on Facebook or YouTube. We really appreciate the support. chat over on YouTube saying Brazil is already making an impact. I actually missed first couple of minutes for a little puppy emergency we had, but it looks like has Brazil already been out on the field?
Oh yeah, no, he's been out there. I know that he's been. I'm not sure of the official tackle line yet, but I know that he's definitely had a presence in the backfield tonight. Tyler Davis, KJ Henry had a sack early on, and I want to say either Tyler Davis, it might have been Brzee, got the second sack. Um, but the defensive line has looked impressive to start tonight.
All right, here we go. Clemson's getting ready to kick the ball off to Wake Forest with 2 minutes 31 seconds left in the first quarter. Already up 14-0 on the Demon Deacons there, and BT Potter just kicks it straight out of the end zone, as we like to see there. Going back to around the league, looking at the scores right now, tied up. Georgia Tech 13, Florida State 13. Oklahoma, hopefully you didn't pay for the pay-per-view there, 41-0. South Florida 20-6 right now up on the Citadel, which was a game that I have to look at the line on that one, but I almost want to say they were the underdog, maybe. Not sure, but it's definitely a rebuild there at South Florida for Jeff Scott, and wish him luck for sure. Back to the game, we've got Clemson on defense. Sam Hartman looking for a pass and brings it down for a run, but it looks like Mike Jones Jr. and the rest of the Clemson defense just sniffed that one out. Rook Orororo in on the tackle as well. I'm going to have to get ready to get used to his name for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one, especially if you have to say him and then a drive after say Uyangalele. So.
All right, looks like they're hiking the ball again. Clemson comes out in a 3-lineman set with more defensive backs in order to stop the pass. And again, that kind of sniffed out what Hartman was trying to do, so he had to run to the sideline. Really seems like Wake Forest is trying to find something that's going to work, but Clemson's defense has been able to adjust fairly quickly. And again, it's 3rd down and 9, obviously a passing situation, and there are only 3 down linemen again, with looks like Spector and Venables and Mike Jones out covering. Hartman passes deep to the left-hand side, one-on-one coverage against Andrew Booth Jr., and he comes down with it. Big-time pass there for Wake Forest.
Yeah, unfortunately, tonight we're going to have to win our one-on-ones with DK and with Mario Goodrich out, and I know that they've already hit a couple big plays here, so hopefully we can get better at that.
And Wake Forest looks to run to the outside and gets hit out of bounds after a few yards. Okay. But yeah, another good catch there, and Joseph Charleston, number 18, going to see what he's going to do. But Wake Forest has pretty good backfield, 2 guys back there, and it looks like the ball was knocked loose after a short pass to the right-hand side, and the line judge is saying that Clemson has recovered it, and so is Clemson's sideline.
I got to see that again. I honestly didn't see the fumble at first.
I'm going to say he didn't have possession of that. That was very quick, if anything.
I don't know. He made a football move.
I don't know. He didn't make many steps. It's hard for me to say with steps there.
It's hard for me to say, but he did. It did look on that second replay that he possessed the ball. I think they're going to review it though.
Looks like exactly who I thought. Number 53, Reagan Upshaw on the tackle there. You didn't get to see him much last year. Dabo Swinney talked him up big time last year. You didn't get to see him much, though. But good to see him out this year.
Let's see. I know that they've got their rules expert on saying that it should be incomplete. The more that I look at it, the more I think it will be. Now, if they do keep it calling the field, I mean, he did possess the ball to me, but he didn't take a whole lot of steps. He just kind of caught it and dropped it. So um, it wouldn't surprise me either way.
Yeah, I'm going with he didn't have a football. He didn't make a football move there. As we're waiting on the referee to review it, and he does review it as an incomplete pass. Again, around the league, Texas up 7-0 on UTEP. Louisville, Western Kentucky tied 7-7. Duke lost 27-13 at Notre Dame, and North Carolina beat Syracuse 31-6.
Yeah, and you got to admit, Chase Bryce had it's some growing pains as far as the offense as a whole, but he played a really good game today. 259 yards passing and a rushing touchdown. So, it may not have been the result that Duke wanted, but at the same time, it was a pretty good start for Chase Bryce.
And it looks like that they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do, where they're going to spot it, what the time is going to be. They're going to move it to the right hash. And this time you got 2 down linemen and 2 standing up on the outside. 2 defensive ends standing up. Justin Maskell on the right side. I'm going to say KJ Henry on the left side there. And they go with a running back draw and almost get it. About a yard short, which would make it maybe 4th and 2 or 4th and 1.
It makes me think that they're going to go for it here. Of course, I don't know. It looks like they're trotting a few, like the field goal unit on the field. I'm kind of surprised that they ran the ball there just to kick the field goal. So I'd anticipate, maybe anticipate a fake here.
And if you look, Nick Skiba getting ready to kick a field goal or attempt a field goal here. 44-yard tip from a little bit on the inside of the right hash here. And it gets blocked by the Clemson defender, but almost still goes through, and It's waved off kind of to the bottom right there.
Kudos to Nick Skiba, though, on that kick. I for a second there, it looked like Brzee was the one. Brzee was the one that brought pressure on there, and they got a hand on the ball. I got to see the replay on that, but Skiba's kick almost went through. So credit to him. I know it was a miss, but that's a pretty powerful leg. I know he's a pretty good kicker.
And again, around the league, Louisiana, Raging Cajuns, and Billy Napier upset number 23, Iowa State. Iowa State that was predicted by many, including myself, to do really well in the Big 12. Maybe this is just a stumble at the beginning, but also predicted by our very own Houston Burnett that they would stumble at the beginning. So good call there.
Yeah, I think he looks like. I mean, at least from a physical standpoint, Cornell looks like he's put on the right weight. He looks like a more physical specimen at wide receiver this year. So I'm glad he's worked hard and he's getting some reps in as a starter, and he's got a couple catches already and making an impact.
Yeah, into the first quarter there. Again, Cornell Powell looking good so far, and excited to see the Tigers are rolling again. Let's go check the stat board real quick. I'm going to go pull up the box score for you real quick. Got Trevor Lawrence, 7 for 9, 100 yards, 11.1 average yards per attempt or per completion. Travis Etienne, 10 carries, 82 yards, 8.2 yards per carry. 29-yard rush was his longest. Trevor Lawrence actually in the negative right now, 3 carries, negative 13 yards, but has 2 touchdowns on the night. Amari Rogers, 3 receptions, 55 yards. Braden Galloway, 2 receptions, 30 yards. Cornell Powell, 2 receptions, 15 yards. And then B.T. Potter has 2 extra points. And Will Spires has 1 punt, a 56-yarder, by the way. Very good to start out Will Spires' average there. I'm liking that.
Yeah. I think outside of the first drive, I don't think you could have scripted a better beginning for the Tigers. 100 yards passing in the first quarter, two touchdowns rushing for Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne operating at 8 yards a click. So we're humming. Some of the teams today you see, or Clemson's humming, as far as their offense goes. Clemson's going there, and as far as you look at some of the teams. Um, you look at some of the teams today that might have had to shake off some rust, like Iowa State. Iowa State had to shake off some rust today, and that ended up costing them. They ended up getting blown out at home by ULL. And then you have teams like North Carolina who, on the scoreboard it looks like they blew Syracuse out, but for 3 quarters of that game, it was 10-6, and they had to shake off a lot of rest. But for Clemson, it looks like they are geared up and ready to go, and Travis and Trevor are just balling out already. Florida State just fumbled the ball, and Georgia Tech is returning it inside of Florida State's red zone. So Georgia Tech now has 1st and 10 inside the Florida State 20.
I'm gonna go grab some water real quick.
While Morgan's away, I'll kind of man the ship here as far as kind of giving some updates. I have the Florida State game on my computer screen and the Clemson game on my office TV, so kind of going back and forth there. But it looks like James Blackman fumbled. It looks like Florida State's kind of had a slow second half. They were up 10-0, and slowly but surely Georgia Tech has crawled back into this game. But Curry for Georgia Tech just returned it, and now the Jackets have it 1st and 10 inside the Florida State red zone. Actually, it's inside. It's at the Florida State 11.
Yeah, chat's already saying that you picked Louisville, or you picked Western Kentucky, right, to stay within
No,
the spread.
I picked Louisville to cover the spread against Western Kentucky. What's the score there on that one? I don't have that one.
It's tied up 7-7 in the first.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think right now I'm at 3-2 as far as my picks go. Pittsburgh covered Duke as far as not getting beat by 20. I got ULL, but then I lost UNC and UAB, and then I'm still waiting on. It looks like Georgia Tech's gonna at least come under that 12.5. So I think right now I'm sitting pretty with my picks. Take note.
We won't talk about it yet. The night's not over. The night is not over, and the game's back on. Trevor Lawrence with a high. It looks like I hate when the ESPN does this. They basically come back on air, and the play's halfway being almost over. Looks like there was a fake sweep to the left-hand side, and Trevor Lawrence tried to get it out to Braden Galloway to the right-hand side, but it was sniffed out by Wake Forest and Carlos Basham Jr. there. So not a good play there for the Tigers on first down. Here we go. Or actually, it was second down. We didn't even see what the first down was. I missed that one. 3rd down and 1. Trevor Lawrence takes it himself and just barely gets to the outside and makes a first down out of bounds on the left-hand side. Good little run there. He can get to the outside pretty quick. I think a lot of teams who haven't played them.
That makes Clemson's offense so hard to stop. Is you have Travis Etienne just right up the middle hammering you, and then on 3rd and 1 you have no contain. Trevor just takes it for an easy 5-yard gain for a first down.
All right, and then he gets a quick handoff to not Lynn J. Dixon, but that looks like Darian Rencher. Darian Rencher, man, he was moving his legs pretty quick to get up there on the right-hand side and moves the ball pretty well. Here we go, another handoff to Rencher up the middle as well again, and that gives them a first down.
Yeah, I don't know how much we're going to see of Lynn J. Dixon tonight. I understand from what I've heard he's been kind of banged up the last couple weeks. I do believe he has traveled with the team And it looks like we've got
Wide
a
receiver
Kobe
look
Pace
out
with
here.
him.
You got E.J. Williams and Will Sweeney to the right, Braden Galloway and Frank Ladson to the left.
We got a Kobe Pace sighting at running back.
Be really interested to see how this play unfolds. Looks like they're going to take their time and preview the defense before they hike it to the last minute. Trevor Lawrence drops back to pass, looks over to the left-hand side, and gets it right in for Braden Galloway there. Looks like a good 15 yards. If he can get on page with Braden Galloway early on in the season,
That's hard to stop.
I feel bad for a lot of defenses out there in the ACC and beyond.
That for Braden Galloway, this could be not only a national championship year, but this could be a one and done type year if he's as good as we think he is. I think he could be as talented as he is. I think he could be one of the top draft prospects at tight end, early round.
Hands it off to Travis Etienne, who gets up about 2 or 3 yards. Travis Etienne looking pretty young on those legs too. Looks really good right after the handoff. Has a good burst of speed through the hole, but gets stopped at the first line of defense there gets stopped by a linebacker there. 2nd down and 7. Got 2 tight ends look right now with Etienne again to his right. Lawrence backs up, has some time, looks over to his left again to Amari Rogers for the catch. 2 big time passes to his left-hand side, and both converting for a first down and then some. But there's a flag on the play, so let's hold that up and see what that's all about. Illegal formation. So they did come out in some sort of unique 2 tight end set, but they were both off the line. I wonder if they had enough people on the line of scrimmage or what was going on there. Looks like they did have 5 men on the line of scrimmage. Maybe there was somebody that was covered up. Houston's connection is out right now, but we'll bring him back on when we can. Second down and 12. Coming out in the same formation. This time handed off to Travis Etienne, and he gets stopped for a loss, -4 yards. Same formation there. I'm not really sure why the previous formation was illegal formation and this one was not. We'll try to see if we can't get back in touch with Houston here. Bring him back on. All right, it's 3rd down and long. Trevor Lawrence comes out with trips to the left. He motions Etienne to his left-hand side as well. Backs up to pass. Lawrence over to the right-hand side to Ngata, but he was not going to be able to get to the sideline there. He wasn't going to get to the first down marker at all. Didn't really have a lot of time for that route to open up. So looks like this is going to be a field goal attempt for the Tigers. Again, we kind of lost Houston there. We'll try to bring him back on. Looks like it said he's not online, so maybe he had some technical difficulties there, but we'll try to bring him back on. Looks like he's just frozen there. But BT Potter looks like it's kind of going to the right-hand side, but kind of curls back into the left and gets it through the uprights, 17-0, Clemson. Chat. All right, Chad, I see what you're saying. We're talking big time about Georgia Tech and Florida State. Georgia Tech, Florida State now. Georgia Tech is up 16-13 after not scoring at all in the first quarter and the second quarter. They have scored in the third and fourth and have brought themselves back into the game. And Florida State currently is at a 3rd and 5 on their 44-yard line. With Jeff Sims under center for Georgia Tech, it looks like that they may have found a quarterback that can get them over to the next level earlier than we originally had anticipated. Now, I gave Florida State the upper hand solely because I felt like Georgia Tech was one more year away, But here we are looking at Georgia Tech showing that they may be ahead of Florida State. And if Georgia Tech is ahead of Florida State already, then that shows you just how good Jeff Collins is doing there in Atlanta. He's recruiting better, and he's got his team playing better, and he has a quarterback that, by the way, was originally committed to Florida State. So he's got a lot of good things going for him there. Let me ask you this, chat. If Georgia Tech wins this game, what does that say about Florida State? What do you think? Houston said he's trying to get back in, trying to get logged back in. We'll try to get him back on as soon as we can. But again, chat, what do you think about Florida State if they lose this game to Georgia Tech, the opening game of the season at home, to a team that's still, in many eyes, still rebuilding, to a quarterback who originally was committed to Florida State, currently passing for 277 yards and 1 touchdown, 23 for 34. That's Jeff Sims. Doesn't seem like very good for Florida State there for sure. If I'm a Seminole fan, I'm not excited about that. Let us know in the chat what you think. Currently, we're at commercial for Clemson and Wake Forest. Clemson up 17-0. And we'll look at the box score again. Let me refresh it here. Any big changes there? Nothing really, other than BT Potter now is 1 for 1 for field goals. Currently accounted for 5 points there, Mr. Potter. And it looks like we're back. Clemson's getting ready to kick the ball off to Wake Forest, and it goes out of the end zone again. Another good kick from BT Potter. Thanks again for joining us. If you're over on Facebook or YouTube, we'll probably do just 2 quarters of this game, considering Clemson will probably be up by 3 touchdowns fairly soon. Once they get up by 3 touchdowns, I think it's about time to hang it up. At least for the show. Until they start paying me for play-by-play. As you can see on the screen there, they're talking about Sage Surratt. Big time loss for them. They really don't have anybody else on. They don't have any. They didn't return any skill players on the offense. They returned I believe, a left tackle and a center. Almost got sacked by Tyler Davis there, and Sam Harton makes a deep pass to the right-hand side, but is incomplete. It went in the receiver's hands, but he couldn't bring it down. Here we go again, 2nd and 10 for Wake Forest on their 25-yard line. Hartman looks back, decides to run, but gets quickly sacked. Taken down very quickly by Miles Murphy, number 98. New number, a new player on the field for this season. True freshman. Got there very quick, and as you can see, what we've been talking about with his size, he is a very big man. And it looks like you got Brian Brzee down in the middle, Miles Murphy on the right-hand side, and Reagan Upshaw, I believe, on the left-hand side there for a 3-down lineman set. Again, we were anticipating a 4-3 again, but it looks like that Clemson has decided that they like the 3-down lineman set a little bit more. They've been using it for Wake Forest. Brian Brzee does a little move to the outside and almost gets to Hartman, but Hartman was able to get the ball out and complete it to his receiver. 1 yard short of the first down, but it looks like they're going to stay out there. Are they going to go for it or not? Are they going to test their luck early on their own side of the field? Looks like they're not going to do that quite yet. Looks like they're not going to do that quite so soon. But we're going to bring Houston back on if he's here. We're going to see if we can get him back on the air.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Houston. I can't see you yet.
1 second. My computer's
Looks
still.
like they get ready to punt the ball to Clemson, but it doesn't go very far. It only goes to Clemson's 39-yard line. So Houston's back on with us. Welcome back, Houston.
Yeah, interesting. They at least made Clemson at least made a field goal. Clemson at least made a field goal while I was away and made the stop there. Looks like your boy Miles Murphy on the sack there on third down. One that you've been screaming about all offseason. Miles Murphy already with an immediate impact.
Yeah, I was not expecting to see Murphy, Brazee, and Upshaw as three down linemen. And again, also I mentioned this right before you came on. It looks like they're down in three down linemen a lot more than we originally anticipated. But now Clemson has the ball and does a fake handoff to Travis Etienne. Etienne can't get the block, but Trevor Lawrence swerves out of it, gets a pass complete to Braden Galloway. However, he's out of bounds, so it's second down and 10 there. But again, going back to the defense, we thought it was going to be more of a 4-3 traditional front for Clemson, going back to what we're used to seeing. But it looks like they're perfectly fine having three down linemen, especially with these new freshmen out there.
And it may be a game by game basis that you see Clemson in 4 down versus 3 down. You have the personnel to do either and thrive in both of those. I think maybe Brent Venables last year saw that
Second down and 10 here from the 41-yard line. Trevor Lawrence goes back and gives a short pass to the left-hand side, Travis Etienne, who is able to cut it up the field for a first down. A great yards after catch, and got about 13 yards there. Looks like Clemson has had a lot of success getting 12, 13 yards whenever they really need it.
Yeah, agreed.
Trevor
For the
Lawrence
finish.
gets ready to hike the ball, but it looks like he needs to look over to the sideline to rethink what he's going to do. Looks like he has two to the right, two to the left. Travis Etienne to his right hip in a spread formation, but he's got double stack over left-hand side with Ngata and Rogers. You got to think something's going to happen over there, but he opts to give it off to Travis Etienne, who almost gets tackled in the backfield by Basham, but then is able to make it up the field for about 6 yards.
Yeah, he almost got tackled in the backfield by Trevor Lawrence. Trevor was a little slow getting out of the way there. Travis made an incredible effort there to get six on the play.
And I take that back. It's not Ngata and Rogers. It's actually Powell and Rogers on the left-hand side. And it looks like maybe Ladson on the right-hand side. And again, another handoff, this time to number one.
Demarcus
That would
Bowman.
be DeMarcus Bowman, the true freshman. Didn't get anything on that play, but I suspect we'll see something as time goes on. Looks like he's getting spelled out now already. He was in there to show what he could do for one play, and now we're going to get somebody else in there. Looks like they're putting Rencher back in. I don't know. My YouTube TV is kind of blurry. I'm not sure if it's because of the streaming or what, but
Oh,
yeah, it's actually not on high definition. I gotta fix that. What time are you at right now, Houston?
I'm at 7:22. It's 4th and 6.
What's your play clock at right now?
Play clock is at 30, 29, 28.
Okay, tell me when it gets down to 11 because I gotta reset because I refreshed it to
Yeah.
720p so I could actually see the numbers on the players'
Yeah.
jerseys.
It is 4, 3, 2, 1, 11.
All right. So now we're back synced up again, and if you want to follow along with us as well, you can sync up with the play clock down there. But it looks like Clemson getting ready to punt the ball and punts a little bit too far for Mr. Spires there. It's going to hurt his average, so it's going to bring it into really not going to be good punt at all after the touchback. But that's one of the flaws of being a punter, right? When you get that close and you have to punt.
Yeah, to finish that thought there on Brent Venables and the 3-4 or 3-3 front and 4-3 traditional. I think that might be a game by game basis. We might see them run some 4-man packages against teams that may have stronger running games, we may see Clemson run that defense against like a Notre Dame who has a strong run game, or Virginia Tech who has a stronger running presence, or Pittsburgh even. Whereas a 3-3, where Clemson could see them last year causing a lot of confusion in a young defense. Now you've got a lot of veterans on that defense, a lot of very talented freshmen to be able to disguise and provide a lot of confusion. And I think you could see a little bit of both for the Tigers this year.
And just to give you some scores from around the league, obviously we're at commercial right now. But Georgia Tech currently has possession, is marching down the field actually, and is up 16-13. And Jeff Sims, their freshman quarterback, 23 for 34, 277 yards and 1 touchdown. Doing really good in his initial game. Looks like Florida State more of the same. Issues with their offensive line, issues with their quarterback being able to make and complete plays. They also had Terry got rocked on a tackle over the middle, and so kind of had some injuries there with their wide receivers. Don't have a running back that can scare you, and per usual with their defense and offense, they score early, but late game they are nowhere to be found. So call the witness protection because Florida State's gone after halftime. They cannot come out of – that's what happened last year. They can't come out of the locker room with any kind of success. And so it looks like they're continuing that this year. And a lot of rumbling over on social media about what is Florida State going to be like if they lose to Georgia Tech tonight. It's not going to be good, to be honest with you. I mean, you can say you're rebuilding, but it's not going to be good.
Yeah, it's almost like the rain delay took out all the momentum of that first drive for the Florida State Seminoles because they came out, they looked like a team on fire. And then as soon as the rain delay hit, it's just kind of like they gave up. They got outscored. If it's still 16-13, they've been outscored 16-6 since that opening drive. And I mean, Georgia Tech I think I called this in both my blog this week and on the show the other night. It's a sloppy game. Both teams, Georgia Tech and Florida State, are extremely sloppy, and so it's going to be a hard one to come back from for Florida State if they end up losing game one to a very young Georgia Tech team.
All right, we're back to the game here. It looks like Wake Forest hands the ball off to the left-hand side, goes nowhere, literally nowhere. Jake Venables sniffs it out, and KJ Henry there for the tackle as well. And that makes second down for Wake Forest with 7 minutes left on the clock as the play clock continues to roll. They're going to hike it again quickly as Clemson brings the pressure to the inside, but Hartman again able to get it out and almost converts a first down to the right-hand side. About 1 yard to go, so third and we're going to say half a yard to get the first down now. Jake Venables having to take over for middle linebacker since James Skalski is out until second half because of the targeting call at the national championship game. Wake Forest looks like they're going to do an audible, but ends up doing a quick hike and a quarterback sneak, a good old Cam Newton style quarterback sneak there where you just push the pile until you get across that line, and it works successfully for them, and it works successfully for Wake Forest as well. Again, a hurry-up offense, not giving Clemson's defense much time to decide. Clemson brings the house again, almost gets to him again. Hartman able to release the ball. Looks like when they bring the house, he's looking to his right-hand side and looking to try to attack either Sheridan Jones or Andrew Booth.
Yeah, it's got to be agonizing for Wake fans because they're attacking the inexperienced corners, but our defensive line is just in his face. Clemson.
Looks like Wake Forest couldn't decide what to do. Looks like it was kind of a wide receiver bubble, and Hartman was able to get it out to the right-hand side, but a couple players looks like they got injured there, including Jake Venables, the guy we were just talking about. Kind of got shook up. It was hard to see what happened. It was almost like it was a busted play, but maybe it wasn't a busted play because the wide receiver was there waiting. But it was definitely confusing to see what was going on. And they're going to commercial, so we'll take a little bit of a break here and check out chat. Looks like Georgia Tech's going to win it. I don't know. It's hard to say with college football. You never know. But Georgia Tech right now seem to be moving. Well, they did seem to be moving, but looks like they're 4th and 16 at their 42-yard line. So that seems like a punting situation for Tech there in the Yellow Jackets. Again, though, you got to be excited to see what you're seeing out of Georgia Tech, considering that they started Jeff Sims from the start for this game. Not something I anticipated. I think that was something that they kind of held close to the chest there. Maybe it could have been Graham. Maybe it could have been Sims. They had another guy, I think, as well in the mix, Oliver, or maybe he's gone. But I know they had a third guy there too. But Florida State didn't know who they were going to prepare for, and then Sims comes out there and has been doing well so far. Shoal, our chat says on Facebook, once Bowman gets some weight, he'll be good. Yeah, Bowman is the same height as Travis Etienne, but maybe 20 to 15 pounds lighter than Etienne. But again, Etienne is a senior, and I believe Etienne came in at about 190 as well. So I wouldn't say that he needs to put on weight, in the sense that he's behind expectations. I think he's kind of where he's expected to be, considering his age and that he's a true freshman. But yeah, I mean, by the time he is ready to finish his career at Clemson, I fully anticipate him being up in the 205, 210 range and comfortable with that as well. Like we talked about that on our show a couple of weeks ago, Houston, how Travis Etienne mentioned that, it took him a while to get comfortable being fast at that weight.
Yeah, and I think I'm not saying this from a running style perspective. I'm saying this from a freshman getting used to a system, getting used to college kind of deal. There's a lot of similarities, I think, that you'll see from DeMarcus Bowman and Travis Etienne, where Travis Etienne had a few moments, a few flashes of amazement in his first 3 games. Had a big run against Louisville, big run against Kent State, and I didn't really do a whole lot against Auburn. But then as time progressed on, especially once you got to that fourth quarter against Boston College in 2017, where Clemson was only up by 14, and then he rattles off 2 huge runs, including a touchdown run. I could totally see someone like DeMarcus Bowman having a similar start to the year, where he starts off a little slow, has to work his way up the depth chart, and then by the end of the season, he's a regular contributor for Clemson heading into the 2021 season.
And we're back to the game here. 3rd and 11 for Wake Forest. Trips to the right, one to the left.
Offsides.
He throws it deep. Man open behind the line, and he drops it right in his hand, and he drops it. Andrew Booth getting picked on tonight. Every play that I'm at least aware of is 23 is getting picked on. But the concern there, too, is not only did he get behind 23, Andrew Booth Jr., but he also got behind 18, Joseph Charleston.
Yeah, I don't know. They might be playing, or the coaching staff might be playing a couple guys that they might normally not play in like a Notre Dame type game, like Charleston or.
Wake Forest is going ahead and punted the ball and close to the sideline, but man, it gets a great roll for the Demon Deacons down to the 9-yard line. What's up, Kevron? Welcome. Thank you for joining in over on YouTube. Appreciate it, sir. Chat's already saying that Georgia Tech got the ball back and is going to win the game. That's they got the ball with 1:12 to go.
Yeah, I have it up. Oh, let's watch this first.
Be a fake option to the right-hand side with Trevor Lawrence keeping it up the middle for about a 2-yard gain there. Looks like maybe that was one where they, just kind of trying to position themselves, give themselves a little bit more room, position themselves a little bit more to the the right-hand side of the field. and set themselves up for a good second down play. So let's see what we got for second down. JC Chalk goes in motion. Lawrence with a short pass across the middle to Mari Rogers for a first down. Another 10-plus yarder for the Tigers.
Yeah, he hit Amari there. It almost looked like there was a clear out route by one of the tight ends or one of the slot receivers there.
Lawrence again back to pass, and it's a great slant pass to Frank Ladson. And that's the kind of traditional slant pass that I feel like was missing last year from Clemson's repertoire, if you will. And also, if you notice on ESPN, they mentioned about how Trevor Lawrence has changed his forward foot from his left foot to his right foot since last year. So a few little small tweaks there. Handoff to Travis Etienne, who gets himself to the outside and slips as he tries to cut back up and gets a 1-yard gain. Three minutes, 33 seconds left in the second quarter. Trevor Lawrence back. Another short back-to-back passes here to Balin Spector, who was able to pick up a quick first down and then some. Little shades of Hunter Renfrow there, wearing number 13.
Yeah, you got to get it right. It's Brandon Spector. Balin's the brother on defense. Brandon Spector looking like Hunter Renfrow. First catch of his career, or first catch of the 2020 season for Mr. Spector.
Quick handoff up the middle to Travis Etienne, who's able to kind of get around using his left shoulder there to get around and get up the field. But, yeah, I'm going to have to get that down for sure. Balin is the linebacker.
Yes, sir.
Brannon is the wide receiver.
Yeah, I had the Georgia Tech game up on my phone over here. You're right. Georgia Tech's going to win the game. Florida State had 4th and 2 on their own 20-yard line, and James Blackman shorted a wide open wide receiver on 4th and 2, threw it on the ground basically, and Georgia Tech's going to pick up the W tonight in Tallahassee.
Crazy to think that this is what we're talking about. Florida State losing to Georgia Tech by 3. Not only losing, but again, I can't say this enough, losing to the quarterback that originally was committed to them. Very, very bad news. Very big, it's bad news for Florida State all around.
Yeah, I'd imagine Florida State fans. I don't know if they played North Carolina this year, but if they have to play them and Sam Howell, or Sam Howell has another successful year, that's just going to add to the frustration in Tallahassee.
Good question. I can tell you that Florida State does play the Tar Heels on October 17th. And that's after, this is Florida State's 3-game slot. They've got an open date on October 3rd, and then Notre Dame the 10th, UNC the 17th, and Louisville the 24th.
It's years. And I believe before their bye week, they play Miami, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Woo. What a could we be talking about, have we ever seen a year where Florida State starts 0-5?
Well, they've got, it looks like Samford sprinkled in there.
Okay. Well, 1-5 though. 1-5, Florida State. When have we ever seen that?
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty bad start for them too.
That's before they play Clemson.
And Blackman is not a quarterback that can win games. I mean that's the way he's been. It's not anything surprising or shocking. James Blackman is not a quarterback you want. I mean, he came in there, he's gained 80 pounds, and he's still only 120. Okay, so he's not a quarterback. He'd be a great small forward. He'd be a great shooting guard, but he's not a quarterback in a Power 5 conference. He's going to get beat up. His offensive line is still needing to be rebuilt. He's going to get beat up heavy and going to get probably going to not be able to play as much as he wishes he could. But he's not a game changer.
No, and the surprising part about it is you bring in a transfer from Louisville, and then you bring in Florida State brings in Chuba Purdy, and I'm kind of surprised Florida State hasn't at least let either of those players play today. And I'm curious to see how long the leash is for Mr. Blackman this year, given that it's a
Clemson back on the field here, getting ready to hike the ball. Trevor Lawrence back to pass, looks over to Darian Rencher for a short pass, but then finds Joseph Ngata open as he's falling to the ground, able to bring it in and get another first down. Again, a lot of these passes, whether they're short passes or whether they're relatively medium passes to the outside, getting 10, 12, 15 yards on the regular tonight. So Clemson passing game looking really strong. Handoff to Rencher up the middle for a few yards. Looks like about 3 or 4. Kobe Pace, freshman, gets the handoff there, doesn't get anywhere. I have to remember he's number 14 out there. Kobe Pace, number 14. He's kind of a more physical back as well, so I would expect him to try to do more of those up the middle type runs, just like he did. But it looks like Clemson's going to adjust their alignment and put 3 wide receivers out to the left-hand side, and Ngata to the very far left-hand side with Powell and Rogers. Let's see what kind of passing play we can get out of this, or Clemson can get out of this. He looks over to his right-hand side and sees Chalk wide open in the back corner for a touchdown to number 25. That's another big-time touchdown for Clemson as they go up 23-0.
Glad to see J.C. Chalk get another touchdown. I believe he only had 1 or 2 last season, but it's good that he gets one in his first game in 2020. Glad they were able to, glad Clemson was able to punch this in the end zone. Maybe with a 121 left, you have your timeouts left. See if we can get the ball back and score one more time.
It's really good to see that kind of, smoke and mirrors where you take your top 3 wide receivers, you put them out to the left-hand side, and with the intention of lulling you to sleep and letting J.C. Chalk just sneak to the outside like that.
Yeah, I think Clemson is going to be doing a lot more of that. A little surprised that we haven't seen Braden Galloway more often in the red zone, but I'll take any kind of tight end action that we have. J.C. Chalk's no exception.
And I think that's kind of how it's designed. You get him taken out, which they took him out maybe 5 or 6 plays ago. Galloway had been in there and made some big-time receptions to get him down the field, and then they switch it up to Chalk, I believe, in a lot of ways to kind of lull that defense to sleep and make it just wide open there for the touchdown. But again, another good passing sequence for the Tigers as Trevor Lawrence is hitting his numbers. He's hitting his receivers in stride, and he's also looking beyond his first option.
And that's dangerous. I think that's the most dangerous thing of all. If Trevor's not getting locked onto a primary wide receiver, which he had a tendency to do sometimes last year with T, then Clemson's going to be a real problem for any team.
I think it is a good note from chat for sure that tight end is very important. It's obvious that Clemson is getting the tight end position some reps and getting them out there early and often, Galloway and Chalk as well. It'd be nice to see Jalen Lay if he's available. I didn't look at the complete sheet to see if he was on there or not. But again, now we're back to defense here. Clemson's on defense with a 4-3 front against Sam Hartman and the Demon Deacons. They try to run it up the middle, but it is stuffed big time. Miles Murphy there before the ball even gets started. It's weird to see 98 at a defensive end because we've seen 98 so many years as a defensive tackle. But Miles Murphy, big time guy. And also exciting to see Reagan Upshaw in there more, to begin the season. Upshaw, Murphy, and KJ Henry getting a lot of reps right now.
Morgan, have you ever made the road trip up to Wake Forest before?
I've never been to that stadium. Let us know in the chat over on Facebook or YouTube if you've been at Wake Forest and what game you went to see, and did you like it or not? It looks like a nice stadium, and I know it's not too bad of a drive.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's about a 2.5, 3 hour drive from Greenville. I've wanted to make the trip. That was one of the places I was going to try to do pre-COVID this year, but I've heard it's nice, and I'll hopefully in 2 years I'll try to make it back up.
Here you go in an obvious passing situation where they get 3 down linemen again and bring Tyler Davis in. They rotate the defensive line around each other and really, really mess up that offensive line. And if you're playing a zone kind of blocking scheme, it just really makes it hard when you've got somebody like Tyler Davis that is doing kind of a stunt move to the outside while Reagan Upshaw is going to the inside. And then you have Miles Murphy on the other end. It's just pretty intimidating from an offensive lineman perspective. They try to do a short pass out to the right-hand side to get something going and actually do get about 6 yards. Well, actually, I would say more along the lines of 9 yards, but it's still going to be 4th down and a punting situation.
Excellent clock management by the Tiger defense there. I know that a lot of times when we as fans talk about clock management from an offensive side, but the game just basically played right into Clemson's hands, where Wake Forest was only able to run 3 plays, ran off a minimal amount of time, and now Clemson has 1 minute left to go down the field and try to get some more points on the board.
Yeah, it's always good to be able to get the ball right before halftime so that you can try to go up again. And I believe that Clemson started with the ball, correct? So
correct.
This would be one where Clemson could go up again, knowing that they have to kick off. All right, Wake Forest back with the punt here. Looks like this one's going to be better, but still a little short and only gets to about the 34-yard line before it rolls out of bounds. So Clemson will have 49 seconds to go from their 39 all the way down the field. Oh, man, they're doing a graphic with Dabo Swinney as the Tiger King with a I just think that's wrong,
I don't know, man. You watched Tiger King, right? You watched it, right?
Unfortunately, I have.
Oh, so good. It's a beautiful train wreck. I encourage 5
It's
stars.
Not good, man. It's not good. All right, Clemson back out. You got 2 to the right, 2 to the left. ETN to his left hip. What are they going to do? 49 seconds. Obviously can't run the ball if you're going to try to take advantage of this, but he gets sacked immediately. Didn't have much time, and they only brought 4. That's a little bit of a disappointment there from the Clemson Tiger offensive line because that basically ends the first half, really, unless Clemson's going to try to hurry it up. But it's a little bit of a disappointment there that they brought 4, and it didn't take very long to get sacked. All right, they're going to go back again. They're only bringing 3 this time. It gives Trevor some more time, but he only has a check down, which he gets to Travis Etienne, who's able to actually get by his first defender to the 50-yard line. And now with 16 seconds left, they spot the ball. What are they going to do? Trevor Lawrence under center. Looks like he's going to spike it with 13 seconds left. That's very interesting that Travis Etienne was able to get around his one defender and make it further down. Dabo Swinney's arguing about the game clock, saying that there's supposed to be 14 seconds on the game clock, and there's only 11. He said that been cheated out of 3 seconds there. I guess he's going to let this pass. He's getting ready to call the next play. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Trevor obviously going to pass this ball, drops back a few steps, and Galloway gets out of bounds with 6 seconds to go. I don't know about that play. Didn't really give him much more yardage, and BT Potter's still going to have a really long field goal from there. So they're at the 41-yard line, again in a spread shotgun style formation. And they're bringing ETN out to the left to make it an empty backfield, 5 wide receiver set. And let's see what they can do. But Wake Forest is playing prevent all the way, and they do a little quick pass to Galloway, who gets a first down and actually stops the clock in that sense. So they move the ball up 3 more yards, get the first down, and Clemson takes a timeout with 3 seconds to go to give them a chance at a field goal.
Yeah, we're going to see if BT Potter's got the leg. I know from all accounts he's improved all off season. He's going to get to prove it right here. I'm assuming this is going to be somewhere along the lines of an upper 40-yard, maybe even 50-yard field goal here.
Do I see Wake Forest getting a backdoor cover? No, I do not. All right, BT Potter with a 52-yarder. Kicks it. It's low, though, but it gets through. I mean, it had more. It had more. That was a line drive, and it got through. I think he surprised even himself.
Yeah, you see, BT's got a mullet, too. Good for him. Good for him. With a mullet and a 52-yard field goal. What a night.
I don't think it's a mullet, though, to be honest with you. He grew it out, and woo, man, that kind of whipped back in. But he grew it out, and when Kelly Graham asked him about it, he said that his dad is bald, and so he had to grow it out as long as he could while he still had it.
There you go.
All right, so Clemson goes into halftime 27-0. The spread, I think we had it at 32.5. I think it might have gotten up to 33. But Clemson comfortably in the lead, and also we expect the second string to come out after halftime, but we also expect Clemson to continue to be able to score on this team that has nothing but a defensive line, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm hoping Clemson lets Trevor go in, get a couple more, Heisman stat padding kind of thing, maybe throw a touchdown or 2 more. And I mean, I think he's had a very Heisman-worthy night, given that he's got all 3 touchdowns. But a couple more passing touchdowns to really just kind of set the world on fire a little bit, and head home with a W. Let the backups play most of the second half.
Dabo Swinney's talking to the reporter now. Already asking him how long they're going to, keep Trevor in the game. He says he doesn't know. We expect him to maybe play 1 more series. That's typically how Dabo has done it in the past. If not, just sit him completely for Pumachan. Again, for probably Pumachan in the sense that that's how he's done it in the past. Just go straight down the roster from experience. But you got Trevor Lawrence, 18 for 23 with 261 yards, 11.3 yards per pass, and 1 touchdown. Travis Etienne, 15 carries, 94 yards, 6.3 yards per carry, and a 29-yard carry as his longest. Trevor Lawrence still in the negative 14 yards carrying, but has 2 rushing touchdowns on the night. As far as the wide receivers, Braden Galloway's got the most receptions behind Amari Rogers with 4, Braden Galloway with 5. Rogers with 69 yards, Galloway with 60. And J.C. Chalk, the only receiver with a touchdown. And no stats on the defense because ESPN's they don't do defensive stats until I think later on after the game. But that's your offensive stats for Clemson. Offensive stats for Wake Forest, you're 7 for 14 for 100 yards. Sam Hartman. Christian Beal-Smith, running back, 8 carries, 27 yards. And Kenneth Walker III, guy who was kind of hyped up by David Hill on Twitter, 1 carry, no yards. And then for receiving, Donovan Green, again, a guy we talked about on our show last Monday night, their best recruit. He's a true freshman. Their best recruit of the Dave Clawson era. 3 receptions, 76 yards, 25 yards per reception right now for Mr. Donovan Green. So he's already kind of showing out. It would be nice. It would have been really nice to have seen Green on one side and Surratt on the other side, to be honest with you. If you're a Wake Forest fan or if you're a football fan in general, it would have been nice to have seen those 2 players out there. I think Wake would have had a little bit of a better chance to at least maybe score. But, again, this is exactly how I predicted it, that Wake would struggle to put any points up.
Yeah, and the drop pass that Wake had midway through the second, that just looms even larger now. I mean, if Wake wanted any sense of momentum, they needed to catch that ball, and they may not even scored there, but at least to have some semblance of points for Wake Forest going into the second half, receiving the kickoff. Now it's just hang on for dear life and hope it doesn't get into the 60s, basically. We're close. I think that while we're at it, like not just YouTube, follow us on Facebook, follow Morgan and I on Twitter as well. Morgan, what's your Twitter for the loyal listeners? And I, and I'm at Houston underscore SLC. Houston, like the city in Texas, HOUSTON underscore SLC. Give us a follow on Twitter. Follow Morgan Thomas Show on YouTube, Facebook. Go check out southlandclub.com. We put up a bunch of awesome articles. We normally have Big Al on the show with us, and he does an awesome job on the site writing as well. So just anything and everything Clemson, check us out. Give us a follow.
And we got actually a special guest coming on to talk to us for halftime. Freddie Huth is going to come on. Freddie.
Hey, Morgan.
Hey, welcome to the show. We're just sitting here at halftime talking about some of the upsets with the Florida State losing to Georgia Tech, but also talking about Clemson versus Wake Forest right now. Clemson comfortably in the lead, 27-0. So, and again, we got Freddie Huth on. He's a writer for ClemsonJunkies.com with myself and Houston on the air tonight. What's your thoughts going in or heading into halftime? What's your thoughts, about the Clemson Tigers' offense and defense?
I'm gonna tell you, the offensive line has really looked really well. To say we had to put in 4 new starters there. It was good to see the defense also having a pretty good game, seeing how you had a bunch of players that didn't make the trip, and especially with Darion Kendrick. Kind of a little didn't really like the way that one of our defensive linemen defensive back is getting beaten a little bit, but I think that's to be expected with the youth we've got there. So overall, I'm pretty happy.
What are your thoughts on the defense at all? That defensive line front, it looks like they're coming out in a 3-man front still a lot more than I had anticipated. We kind of talked up a lot about them going back to the traditional 4-3, but it looks like, they're perfectly fine doing a 3-man front, especially with these true freshmen.
Yeah, I was really shocked at that too, but it was also nice to see Miles Murphy and Breeze get some sacks in that first half. They made some impactful plays really quick. But I'm like you. I was expecting the 4-man front a little bit more, and it seems like they're doing just well with the 3-man front.
Now, in a game like this where you come into it knowing that Wake Forest is without a lot of their key players and going to have, going to really struggle all around, do you feel like that this is still just kind of a warm-up game for Clemson, even though it is a conference game? But considering the mismatch in personnel, how much do you give to success or struggles from a Tiger standpoint?
Right now, for me, I'm really impressed that even with it being or seeming to be like a warm-up game, almost like a scrimmage, we've come out and seem to be firing on all cylinders. I mean, and you can tell that, we've got a team that's got leaders that were pushing so hard to play, and so I think that had a lot to do with it. It's nice that you get to start out with a team like this, and no discredit to Clausen, Coach Clausen and them, but this is a huge mismatch. I mean, it just really is.
I've got a question.
Go ahead.
Sorry about that. I was going to say, if we get further into this game, assuming that Clemson's offense rolls the way they do you expect to see come out first as far as the next quarterback? We talking Pimichan or Uyangalele?
Catch what was
say it again, Houston. We could.
So I'm just saying, if Clemson's offense continues to roll in the second half, we're assuming that Trevor goes out 1 or 2 drives into the second half. Who do you expect to be the first quarterback to come out in second string, Pimichan or DJ?
That's the biggest question of the day, I believe. I would like to see DJ, but I don't know. I really don't have an answer for that one.
You always want to see the shiny new toy that you just got on campus. That's for sure. But I want to see Pumachan. I mean, he had a strong arm going into. Oh, sorry about that. I hit you on mute there. I'm excited to see Pumachan because he had a really strong arm in the spring game that I saw when he first got on campus, and I think that I would like to see him and what he can do heading into the next year. But yeah, I agree. Got people in chat saying that they think that Trevor Lawrence is going to have one more series before he shuts it down. I think that that's logical. I think based on what we've seen in the past from Dabo Swinney and company, he usually does allow the player to play one more series, whether it be in the second quarter or in the third quarter. So, I don't expect Trevor Lawrence to be sitting immediately. Do you think that I think in the past we'd be worried about Trevor Lawrence's Heisman odds, but he's come out and done really well as far as in the passing game and also has 2 rushing touchdowns. So I think he's done what he's needed to do. Obviously 261 yards really, would like to see statistically, if you're looking at averages, you really need him. You need him to have 300 at least every single game for sure. So, but that's also when he's up against, say, a Spencer Rattler or say a Justin Fields as well. So he's kind of has less competition this year. So he may not need to get up in the 4,000 plus passing yard range to be able to be successful for that, that voting there.
Very true.
If they even do it.
Who would have thought that his first 2 touchdowns this season would be on the ground and not through the air?
Yeah, I think that's interesting too. Now, I'm going to toss this one to you, Freddie. Chat saying they'd like to see more rotation of running backs in the second half as well. What's your thoughts on that?
I think you started to see a little bit more of that in the second quarter, so it wouldn't surprise me to see that. in the second half. I mean, you know what I'm saying, even into the third rusher there.
Houston, what are your thoughts on it?
Sorry, I had you on mute there. I'd imagine they're going to start to do that. It wouldn't surprise me. I think that Dabo is going to do 2 drives. I think he wants to get Travis at least a few more touches and a touchdown as well. I know that he's loyal to Travis, and I think he wants to get Trevor a few more yards too. I think you'll see 2 drives, and then I think you'll see a rotation after that, a steady rotation of Pace, Bowman, Rencher, whoever else is behind that. I know Malusi and Dukes, and it doesn't look like Lynn J. Dixon is available tonight. So you'll probably just see from mid-third quarter on to about the end of the game a steady rotation of Rencher, Bowman, and Pace.
Yeah, and from what I read on TigerNet, it looks like Dukes and Dixon are not available. So you do lose those 2 guys. Dukes didn't make the trip, it looks like. So, really, you're looking at 1, 2, 3. They've already used 4. Now, Pace and Bowman have only had 1 carry so far, but we all expect them to improve there. Now, the wide receivers, on the other hand, it looks like you have about 8 wide receiver tight end / wide receiver being used so far, and majority of them, except for Cornell Powell, are in the double digits as far as average yards per catch. So, Freddie, is that surprising to you that he's been kind of spreading the field more? Maybe it's a good thing. We won't say it's a good thing that any player is injured, but I think we kind of mentioned this in the past that maybe not having a superstar out there forces Trevor to kind of spread the ball out more.
He has. I was good. I was happy to see the chemistry between him and Amari too. That seemed to be really good. But I agree with you. I do believe that Justin's injury has forced him to have to spread it out a little bit more, and I'm glad of that because like you said in the past we haven't really had that.
Chat over on Facebook saying that they don't like that the crowd noise seems to be too loud. Well, earlier on this week, Dabo Swinney came out and said that when they were discussing crowd noise, he said instead of worried about the volume, he was worried about what songs were going to be played. So it didn't really seem to faze Dabo Swinney at all. I'm wearing headphones and I've got it turned down. Are you noticing that at all, Freddie?
Not really. I mean, you can tell there's a little bit of noise there, but I don't think it's affecting us any. So I'm good with it.
Let's go around the league here. We've got Oklahoma 41-0 against Missouri State. Hope you didn't pay for the pay-per-view there. It's $55. $55 if you wanted to watch that game. South Florida and the Fighting Jeff Scotts up 20-6 over Citadel. And Clemson up 27-0, as we know. And then South Alabama 21-6 to Tulane. Texas up 35-0. Now the spread was 44, so they got to get over 44. Which it's 9 minutes left in the second half, and it's 35-0 over UTEP. So Houston, you were right about that. UTEP is no good. Louisville is up 28-7, putting it on Western Kentucky. And we mentioned this before. If you watched our show, this would have been a pick that would have been a unanimous pick for all 3 of us. Louisville covering the spread against Western Kentucky. They did it last year. They gave them the same exact spread going into this year, so why not take it? And if you're doing it, you're up 21 with the spread was like 11.5. So good job there. Texas Tech up 21-10 over Houston Baptist. Notre Dame final 27-13 over Duke. Now Duke did cover the spread there, or did keep it within the spread. The spread was about 20 points, and that's looks like 14. So good job Duke there. Now Houston, did you pick Duke or Notre Dame on that one?
I picked Duke on that one. I didn't pick them outright, obviously. I just picked Duke under the 20.
Man, I was hoping I got that one up on you. But North Carolina, again, also covers the spread 31-6 over Syracuse, which was slow going at first. Only 7-3 at halftime. And then North Carolina just turned on a switch on the fourth quarter, scored 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. The biggest shock of the night, Louisiana taking down number 23 Iowa State. Iowa State at home, not just by 1 point, guys. Not just by 2
Yeah.
points. 31-14. I watched the majority of that game. Brock Purdy, all the talk we talked about him this offseason, looked flat. Did not have any superstars to throw to. They don't really have that good of a running back, and their defense is horrible. So Iowa State, if we're thinking, I may need to rethink my thoughts on that. I originally thought Iowa State was going to be, a contender for the Big 12.
Well,
And
wait, hold your horses down. We're talking about the Big 12 now. Iowa State can come back in a few weeks, upset Oklahoma and Texas, and go on a miraculous run after this. But
okay.
I
All right,
knew
so
I
I
knew they
won't
were
call
gonna
doom
have.
and gloom week 1. I won't call doom and gloom week 1. I won't sell all of my Iowa State T-shirts yet. But Freddie, any of those games? I mean, I gotta say this. I gotta say a shout out to the Army Black Knights, 37-7 over UL Monroe. This is the second game in a row they've blown out the team that they played. So good job there. And then again, another shocker: Georgia Tech beats Florida State 16-13. So what was more of a shock to you, Florida State going down or Iowa State going down?
Iowa State.
And why do you say
I,
that?
just because, just like you said, all of the talk that's been talked over the off season, and it just, I don't know, they looked horrible. Now I do agree with Houston. It is the Big 12, so there's no way to know there. So, but they really bad.
And here's the other part about this is, imagine being in the state of Iowa and you're an Iowa Hawkeyes fan not playing a season this year. You're getting made fun of by the Iowa State Cyclones fans. Now imagine going into work on Monday, being an Iowa State football fan, knowing that your only game played in 2020 is now a loss to Louisiana. And Iowa could potentially get their season back, given what the Big Ten said today.
Oh, yeah. All right, Freddie. Well, hey, thanks again for calling in and hanging out with us during halftime. The Clemson Tigers are out on the field getting ready to kick off for the third quarter.
I'm enjoying it, man. Y'all have a good one. Appreciate it too, man.
See ya.
Thanks so much.
All right, here we go. So BT Potter kicks it out of the end zone, and that gets the second half underway. Make sure you like and share the video. We really appreciate the support and everybody watching so far at home, enjoying it. Hopefully we're better than Sean McDonough and whoever the other guy is. I don't know. I know his name, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But all right, here we go. Sam Hartman down. Looks like they're starting at the 25-yard line on the left hash. Hartman back for a deep pass over to his left-hand side. Man-to-man coverage. They're testing Andrew Booth again. And well defended over there on the left-hand side this time. Booth all over him. Lots of hands. I mean, lots of grabbing there. Primetime game, you'd want to see a flag there. I'm sure if there were Wake Forest fans in the stands, they'd be pretty mad about that. Hartman back for a pass again. Another one where it seemed like Skalski back on the field gets there and knocks the ball down. Now, it seemed like he was a little early, but Skalski out there, kind of shaking off the rust there, getting used because he was out in the first half. And here we are, 3rd down and 10 for the Demon Deacons as Hartman looks over to the sideline for the play call. 4 down linemen for Clemson as they're bringing in 2. And he throws a deep one to his right-hand side, wide open, and Clemson actually ends up tackling each other, forcing Wake Forest player to kind of pop out and go to the sideline and take it up for another maybe 25, 30 yards. Almost a touchdown if it looks like Joseph Charleston hadn't got there, or Landon Zanders. Wake Forest with a hurry-up offense, but James Skalski gets around real quick around the outside to tackle him from behind. And I'm looking at the replay now. Big play out there. Got three wide receivers to the right-hand side. Hartman looking to his left at first, now looking back to his right. There's nobody open for him there. But looks like Sheridan Jones ran into Charleston. I don't know what happened there. That was a
the
unfortunate
broken
way.
play. It was Jones and Zanders, and then it was tackled. It looked like Kane Patterson got that.
Keith McGuire, actually.
Oh, Keith McGuire sighting.
Keith McGuire is the number 30 with the cast on his left arm. Looks like a run up the middle, but he moves over to the right-hand side and gets taken down after about a 2-yard gain. Yeah, you got to keep up with these new numbers here. Kind of hard. 26 is Sheridan Jones. 30 would be Keith McGuire, but he back there really quick for a linebacker. There's a Clemson player injured. It looks like Tyler Davis on the ground. Dabo Swinney comes out to check on him, and he is grabbing his right knee as ESPN goes to commercial here. Not a good sign necessarily to see him grabbing his knee there.
I gotta see the replay on that one.
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of hard to keep up because they're going so fast with their offense. Sparty in the chat on Facebook. We should be up. Are you saying we as in Wake Forest? I don't know if I'm on board with that.
Yeah, it's just a diehard fan, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, and that's an unfortunate scenario. I know from a position side, that may not be the something affected by the depth of the amount of people we have. But Tyler Davis is a huge asset, so hoping it's just something minor, or it happens a lot where you might have a lineman bang their knee on somebody else's knee or something like that, and have to take to a few plays off, or maybe they just might hold them out the rest of the night.
All right, we're back to the game here. And looks like Nick Skiba back out to attempt a field goal. Missed his first field goal, 44-yarder there. Don't have any information on Tyler Davis yet, but we'll let you know as soon as we hear. And it's good. So they do get 3 points there. So can't say that they blank them, but past 2 years they've only scored 3 points. So let's see if Clemson can keep them to that 3 points.
Morgan, did you refresh your page? Because I think you're back ahead of me by about 15 seconds again.
Well, I guess I don't think I did, but we'll see. When the clock starts again, I'll pause it.
All right.
He's placing the ball now. And the play clock is at 20. Let me know.
All right. I'll let you know. Three, 2, 1, 20.
All right, so we're synced back up again.
Yeah, I don't know
Now,
what
Wake
happened
Forest
there.
is getting ready to kick off. Interesting to see, I believe, Joseph Ngata back in the back there. And he kicks
Yeah.
it into the end zone, and Ngata takes a knee there.
Yeah, it was unofficially. I believe they came out. The team said that he runs something like a 4.4 now. So he might be one of the burners on the team. So maybe that's why they got him back there.
Yeah, I just don't like not having fans, man. I mean, it is. It seems the same until they pan to the outside because you get that noise piped in. Trevor Lawrence back to hand it off to Travis Etienne, who takes it right up the middle and straight ahead for about 7 yards, 6, 7 yards.
Yeah, it does stink. I mean, it'll be a good sight to see at least some fans in the stands in Death Valley next weekend.
Trevor Lawrence in the pistol formation with Etienne behind him does a play action to Amari Rogers as he's rolling out to his left-hand side. A good sequence there. Really like that play. Allows Amari Rogers some time to get open. And again, another completion, another pass completion that's at least 15 yards out. They're able to get that 12 to 15 yarder pretty regularly. Now, Trevor hikes the ball and wants to hand it off to Travis Etienne, but doesn't, and gives it over to the left-hand side to Joseph Ngata on the sideline, who makes a move and, again, picks up. He caught it with about 9 yards and picked up about 9 more yards.
Yeah, I feel like on that play, if he'd have just, and they're showing the replay of the Amari Rogers catch right now, if Joe Ngata had just kind of stayed on his path instead of making that little move, he might have been able to get it a little bit more. If he's got 4.4 speed, I'd like to see him use it.
All right, here's a 2 tight end set from Trevor Lawrence, who uses that for blocking scheme and tries to go down deep, but doesn't have anything open, so he rolls out to his left and checks down to Travis Etienne, who gets the 8-yard catch. Yeah. Chat on YouTube saying that Trevor Lawrence looks great tonight, looking really good, and I would agree. He is on it as far as the passing game goes. A double handoff, reverse sweep to Brandon Spector, who almost makes it into the end zone and gets tripped up with about 3 yards to go.
I almost fumbled it there.
That was a pretty smooth move there, and you can just see how fast and how explosive he is as a wide receiver in that play. His feet move really, really quick. Motions Etienne to his right, hands it off up the middle. Etienne behind his lineman gets across the goal line for a touchdown.
There we go.
33 to 3 Clemson.
Good for Travis to finally get in the end zone tonight. I know that he was trending towards 100 yards. He's probably over that, at least in total yardage. So capping off a good night for the Tigers for him. I'd expect him to start to get rotating out. I think he's done a good job tonight.
And the field goal is good there for BT Potter. Or excuse me, the extra point. Yeah, you're looking at it now. Trevor Lawrence has passed the 300-yard mark, 21 for 26, 309, and 1 touchdown, with 2 rushing touchdowns. Travis Etienne, over 100 yards rushing. And Amari Rogers now at 90 yards receiving.
How many receiving yards does ETN have?
47.
Not a bad night.
Yeah, definitely not a bad night for the team here. Brandon Spector with a reception. That go around makes it, there's 8 Tigers on the receiving or with a reception tonight so far.
Still haven't seen EJ Williams yet.
EJ Williams, yeah, not on the stat sheet yet. Hopefully we'll be able to see him. Chad over on YouTube saying they think that DJ Williams or DJ Uiagalelei, I said EJ Williams, DJ Uiagalelei would be out next drive. I'm going with Tyson. We'll see if Tyson comes out next series.
I think Trevor gets one more drive.
If you're watching over on Facebook, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you like and follow our page over on Facebook. We really appreciate it. We're almost at 20, I think 2,300 followers on Facebook, and make sure you follow us over on or subscribe to us over on YouTube as well. We're getting closer and closer to that 1,000 subscriber mark. We're at 906 right now as I'm looking, so please help us out. We're trying to get the super chat. Quick first down pass makes it for 8 yards, makes it 2nd and 2 for Wake Forest. Wake hands it off, tries to go up the middle, makes a move to the outside, gets open for another 10-yard gain. Another 10-yard gain to the left side. Yeah. And that was Kenneth Walker III. That was the guy I was telling you about last week or Monday, that was somebody to watch out for. He's a good runner. Hasn't got the ball much. Hartman goes back for pass, and it is complete again for 7 yards. It does seem like that Wake Forest has been able to get the 6-7 yard pass completion pretty regular.
Yeah, I'd agree on that one.
Some sort of trick play there, a very delayed handoff to Walker. And Walker does get to the outside for 3 yards. Look, Sam Hartman held the ball and just kind of stood there.
Yeah, Morgan, that's actually Dave Clawson's strategy there. They want to hold that mesh point for an extended amount of time, even into the very last second.
Hartman back to pass again. Throws it to the short side, the left side of the field for a first down. 11 yards. It was a 0-yard pass for 11 yard after the catch. Brissy, chat saying that they're seeing Brissy getting double teamed. He's not currently on the field right now. Mike Jones Jr. goes in for the sack, and he gets out of his hands, but other Clemson Tigers swarm him, including the freshman Miles Murphy. But
Miles Murphy has had a night tonight. He has had an outstanding night tonight.
But Mike Jones Jr. comes in untouched. In a design blitz from the right hand side, just ran around the running back's block. 2nd down and 16. Wake Forest is looking for the play call from the right hand side. Now that Hartman's helmet came off, He had to go sit out on the sideline for a play. Another one of those very delayed handoff at the mesh point, and it does get completed for, what'd you say, 12 yards?
It's going to be probably about 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. So I want to probably say right around that 12 to 13 yard mark.
Again, it does seem like these little short, middle of the field passes are available. Wake Forest has been able to march down the field. Walker gets stuffed this time for a 3-yard loss to the right-hand side. In on the tackle was Landon Zanders. Troy Polamalu Jr., we can call him.
Yeah, got in the backfield. There was a lot of penetration there. Looks like Wake Forest is going to go for it on 4th down.
I would expect him to go for it in this situation. 4th and 3 from on Clemson in Clemson's Hartman. Hartman goes for it and gets rocked at the point.
He's hurt.
And looks like he got hit helmet to helmet or some sort of big time hit there as he dropped the ball. And fighting for extra yards there was not a good idea for him, and he got hit hard. And I'm not sure if they called that a fumble or not, but it was definitely going to be a turnover on down.
That was Skalski and was that Levante Bentley? What a hit. That was just the two of them together. I thought he was way seriously hurt the way that he bent back like a pancake there. But outstanding pressure there. Looked like Rook was getting double teamed there, commanding that double team and able to get that 4th down stop.
Yeah, it was a very nice hit from the two guys, being able to contain the running quarterback. Now, that's something that is good experience for this linebacker core going into a future game down the road, and that is Miami. If you watch that Miami game, you could see that basically De'Aaron King's MO is drop back to pass. If nothing's there, he's going to run the ball. And so Sam Hartman is also kind of doing some of the same things. A running quarterback is something that Clemson's going to have to be ready for when they host Miami in, just 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think it's the first weekend in October. It's a couple weeks. Clemson's got Citadel bye week. Then
4
Virginia.
weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
4 weeks. So October 10th.
Yeah. As for De'Aaron King, it's interesting with his type of play. He is a runner. He wants to do that. I want to see what he does against more talented defenses, because UAB, I regret my pick on that one just because I didn't realize how terrible their defense was. There were several missed tackles. So I want to see what De'Aaron King does against a more competent opponent. And we'll see. He's a very good player, but I feel like the jury's still kind of out on him as far as an elite quarterback in college football.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really have a star-studded wide receiver core to be able to support him, and so that's a big problem. His running back, Cameron Harris? I liked him.
He's got a couple of good freshman backs that I know Clemson offered, and we didn't pursue very heavily. Don Chaney Jr., Jalen Knighton we were on the board for. I think that was before we got DeMarcus Bowman to commit. So they have some talent. They do have some talent at wide receiver at Miami. I've been saying this forever. I don't really like Rhett Lashley as far as a coordinator goes. You notice they run a similar offense to what Auburn had in 2013. I feel like I don't know. I feel like Nick Marshall was a better quarterback for that offense than what De'Aaron King is, and they have more talent at Auburn at that time than they do now in Miami.
Getting ready to get back into the game here. All right, Clemson's out. Trevor Lawrence hikes the ball, gives the ball to Darian Rencher, who gets flipped over and makes about an 8-yard gain.
I expect this to be a very short drive. I would not be surprised at all if in the next 2 to 3 plays we see a shot play for Trevor, I think this is the cherry on top drive right here.
Interesting to see Trevor Lawrence out again. And here we go. 2nd down and 2 in the pistol formation. Rencher behind him. Reads to Rencher. Price wide open down the field, or is that Davis? Looks like I'm going to say
Davis Allen.
I'm going to say Davis Allen. Yeah. Davis Allen, because Price didn't make the trip. Davis Allen with a huge gain over the left-hand side. 1st down and 10. Yeah, another beautiful pass from Trevor Lawrence there. Going to motion into a pistol again and gives it to Rencher to the right-hand side. Off tackle up for about 5 yards. Yeah, but a beautiful pass. Again, another tight end getting a shot down the field, adding to the wide receiver list here. Go ahead and add in Davis Allen on the list, making that 9 receivers to catch a pass from Trevor Lawrence tonight.
I'm expecting one more shot play here. I think he's going to hit the end zone in the next 2 plays.
Another motion to a pistol formation. Is it a run? And it is a run again. Rencher takes it to the right-hand side again. Short side of the field, gets about 3 yards this time. So it's going to make it 3rd down and 2. This is an interesting kind of formation that Clemson's coming out into, where they go into 2 tight end set. The tight end's off the line slightly, and 5 offensive linemen up on the line, 2 tight ends back, and 2 wide receivers to the right. It's kind of like an ace format, kind of, but then you have a pistol formation right behind it, where he originally starts to the left-hand side or right-hand side and then comes behind him. Will Sweeney comes across the field. Trevor Lawrence hands it off again up the middle, straight up the middle for number 14, Pace.
Outstanding
and run. 2 yards to go. 1st and goal for Kobe Pace.
Outstanding run by Pace. I thought he was going to make it there.
One guy to make miss. He couldn't get it, but he got all the way to the 3-yard line. Give it to him again. You want to give him that touchdown, and he can't do it. 1-yard run. I feel like Pace has earned it. Let's give it to him. Travis Etienne getting his time to take a breather on the sideline, while Pace showing good strength up the middle. Is this a Trevor Lawrence keeper? Makes it in motion, puts Will Sweeney in motion, drops the hike, and gets sacked immediately by Williams, 22 of Wake Forest. Bobbles the hike there, or bobbles the snap rather, and immediately gets taken down. Doesn't have much time to do anything there.
They're gonna have to throw it now. I don't think there's many other options for 4th and goal from the 12.
They line up with 3 to the left-hand side. Could this be the same type of play where they try to get it out to the tight end? They don't have a tight end to the right. They actually have Ladson to the right-hand side. Ladson goes to the right and then back to the inside, but cannot hang on to the ball. It was another design play to go to the right-hand side of the field instead of the stacked left-hand side, but Ladson unable to bring it in. Instead of going to the outside corner, and instead of it being a tight end, they replace it with a wide receiver, and he does a kind of like a move to the outside and then a move back towards the goalpost, but cannot come up with it.
Yeah, that ball was on the money. Just Ladson couldn't hang on to it. Unfortunate.
And BT Potter puts it up, hooks it a little bit. Seemed like a little bit of a hook there, but chat, Michael Dukes, don't believe he made the trip tonight.
No, he did not. Him and Chaz Malusi both did not.
All right, that puts Clemson up 37-3 And at this point, they're above the spread that we originally picked of 32.5. Let's go ahead and look at around the league here while we're on commercial break. Oklahoma 48-0. Missouri State. South Florida 27-6 over Citadel with just a few seconds left. Texas up 45-3. The spread was 44. Louisville 28. Western Kentucky 14. Actually, Louisville just completed a pass for 70 yards from Mikael Cunningham to Dez Fitzpatrick to go up 34-14. Big time 70-yard pass there for Louisville with about 9 minutes left in the third quarter. So Louisville goes up by 20 points now.
Louisville is going to be a team that's going to be a problem for the rest of the league this year.
Looks like their offense is still there. That's for sure. And I mean, Western Kentucky is not a bad team at all. I mean, they're not a big name team, but they were projected to fight for the Conference USA Championship this year by Athlon Sports.
Yeah, I expect them to at least make a run at a New Year's Six bowl this year, not having to play Clemson. And I mean, if the chips fall right, we might be playing Louisville and Charlotte, or Clemson might be playing Louisville and Charlotte come December 19th. As far as a potential opponent, I believe they were picked third. Louisville was picked third to finish this year, or fourth. I'm sorry, third was North Carolina, fourth was Louisville, but Louisville within earshot of that championship game.
Sparty, what are you talking about? Spread, wow, fixed. I mean, everybody and their mom knew that Clemson was going to go up on Wake Forest like this. I mean, it was. I don't know if you were expecting a better game than this. I'm not really sure what articles you're reading. Oh, I mean, hey, enjoy a fair game. I mean, but there are people who are interested in the spread picks, and so we do those spread picks. Now, I actually don't bet on the games either, but I mean, I do college football pick'ems, and I like to see what my results are against the spread. I think it makes it harder than just picking straight up picks. I mean, it's a game, I'm not saying you have to bet on anything. Clemson with the kickoff here, and Wake Forest actually has a good, decent return there. Donovan Green, number 7, with the return. Now, again, like I said, one of the best recruits Clawson has ever had. All right, they're going to do backup quarterback tonight for Sam Hartman. They say he's okay. They say he's doing well, but considering the score and the situation, he's sitting down for the rest of the night.
That is, I mean, I understand the reason why, but I don't think I've ever seen a game in the third quarter just coaching staff outright say that they're going to take out their starter. I guess it's kind of the COVID year because of that, but it's kind of crazy.
Got a picture of his weight gain there. That's pretty impressive here. But I mean, these athletes spend a lot of time in the weight room. I mean, he did get rocked there with Houston. I mean, he really did.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that.
And rolls out to the left-hand side and throws it incomplete, and that's going to make it. Or there's actually a flag in the play. Let's see what the flag is. Michael Kern now in as quarterback. Tell you a little bit about Michael Kern. He's a freshman, 6'2", 187 from Orlando, Florida. And they're giving a penalty of holding on Clemson's defense of LeAnthony Williams, number 20 there. It's good to see Clemson being successful against the run. It's also good to see Trenton Simpson in there, getting in on the tackle there.
Reggie Upshaw again getting in there.
You mean Reagan?
Reagan Upshaw, I'm sorry.
And that was Ray Thornton, the third in there. 16. Almost intercepted. Joseph Charleston there early. Ray Thornton there as well. Couldn't come down with it. 3rd down and 8. Big pressure from Balin Spector up the middle. Had to release the ball quickly. Third down and 8. 3 down linemen. You got Brazee and Miles Murphy. Reagan Upshaw and Jordan Williams. Pass deep to the left-hand side to no one. And that looks like it was Fred Davis. Fred Davis on the coverage there. Fred Davis the second. Getting some reps there. So we're starting to see some of the backups in there for the defense. So that's kind of exciting to see. And holding their own as well. Again, LeAnthony Williams and Fred Davis. Trenton Simpson. Wake Forest goes for the punt. It's going to be short, but it's going to get another good bounce. It's going to be to about the 12-yard line of Clemson. Yeah, Murphy is definitely a beast. I mean, there's no understating that for sure. He looks good. And, I mean, we called this early on in the season. We called this back in January, February. There's not much time for these guys who have been on this team and have had chances, because these freshman defensive linemen are going to want to play and going to deserve to play.
Looks like we got another re-kick coming here on a legal formation.
It looks like these quarterbacks are getting ready, anxious to get in. And this time he punts it out of bounds. Not going to be as good of a spot. And looks like Chat might have been right. Number 5 walks out with the team instead of number 11.
DJ sighting. Cannot wait.
I mean number 7, excuse me. Number 5's out there. We get a chance to see the true freshman, DJ Uiagalelei. He takes a big breath. You see that? He kind of takes a sigh of relief there. He's out on the field for his first snap. And it's probably going to be a handoff. Yes, it is. Always break the nerves by making the running back, making the quarterback hand it off.
Let's let him rip it a couple times. Just let him rip it.
And here's the big time 70-yard pass to Louisville. All right, DJ for his second play of college career. Big dart to the right-hand side.
It's a pretty good start.
And hits Will Brown right in the numbers for a first down. And Trevor Lawrence looks like he's getting a little nervous on the sideline there. Another handoff for DJ to Bowman. Bowman, who gets a little bit of space and gets a first down. Two freshmen that look really good. And you got Jalen Lay sighting out there.
If you're a Gamecock fan watching this, cover your eyes because...
As well as a Joe on the field.
If you're a Gamecock fan, cover your eyes because this is the future.
Bowman spins out to the right-hand side, but there's a flag.
Yeah, I think that's going to come back.
Holding on 57. Who's 57? I got to learn these numbers.
Paul Chio.
Chio. Oh, get out of here, Sparty. Guy on Facebook chat saying that Trevor Lawrence looked terrible until the till the no call pass interference on Clemson. Okay.
This guy sounds like an Ohio State fan.
Maybe so. I don't get that too worried and caught up in the referee game. If you're the better team, there's certain things that you figure out, you work around.
Got a good third down situation here coming up for DJ Uiagalelei and DeMarcus Bowman. You may have a shot to see EJ Williams finally get his first catch. So I'm excited. I think at least the first touches for some of these freshmen have been good. I'd love to see him put this in the end zone and lead Clemson to score here, finish the game, get a couple more touchdowns on the board, and maybe not get 60, but get in the 50s. I'm not going to complain too much about that.
South Florida ended up winning. Somebody asked me in chat, where's our channel for all the games? Well, YouTube took down the that page that had all the Clemson games right as COVID hit, about a week after COVID hit. I think that ESPN started going and scanning through all of their all of the full game replays that weren't made by ESPN. Unfortunately, I don't know of a new place to watch Clemson games unless you just DVR them yourself. Or at least watch Clemson replays, I guess. Buy the DVD. Still waiting on the commercial to come back. See some more of DJ.
So Morgan, are we planning on doing this again next week, or are you planning on trying to make it out to Death Valley next weekend?
I mean, you gonna make it to Death Valley? Can you even get a ticket if you're not a ticket holder?
I, I'm 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 being coy about that. No, we just got back to the game. Got Demarcus Bowman on the 6 yard run. Somehow or another, it was 1st and 19. They must have called a penalty at the break. Moving left to right.
So there's a guy on YouTube that says that I must have been, because I said something about there being a channel that has Clemson replays. That must have been the reason why, or maybe one of the reasons why it was taken down. And I'm
So
like, my channel has like 900 followers. This channel that had those Clemson replays had like tens of thousands of followers. I highly doubt somebody was listening to my show on YouTube with what 20, 30 live viewers. I don't know. I mean, maybe I was the reason, but
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Well, we just had an incompletion right there to EJ. So they're going to come out and punt right now.
Yeah, so unfortunately DJ wasn't able to move the ball. Was that a last pass to EJ Williams?
Yeah, the last one was to EJ Williams. Or for Clemson, it almost looks like there was a penalty or something that was assessed while the game was at break, because it started out 1st and 19. They moved it a couple times, but couldn't convert on that 3rd and 7. Another great play by Fred Davis.
Yeah, good to see him out there. Looks like he's going to get a lot of fourth quarter. Weird to see a number 90 out there. Let's see. That'd be Darnell Jeffries.
Good to see him get on the action.
And Trey Williams also on the line. I tell you what, this backup quarterback is hanging in there.
He is. He's running for his life, but he's hitting his receivers.
Second down and 2 for Michael Kern. Wide open down the middle of the field for a big gain. And Wake Forest is moving down the field with this backup quarterback. But also keep in mind that Clemson has they don't have any starters out there, it looks like, other than maybe the defensive line.
Now we're at two. Clemson's got their 2s and 3s in right now.
Looks like a 3.25 from Clemson, bringing 3. Almost gets the interception there, but it's complete. Another 15, 20-yard completion there for Wake Forest. They're just marching down the field. Clemson's kind of playing pretty off too as well. Not playing as aggressive, letting the quarterback have more time than usual. And Kenneth Walker gets the ball and takes it about 5 yards up the field. Again, trying to get the corner there and was successful. Joseph Charleston took him out of bounds. 2nd down and 6, 11 minutes, 46 seconds left in the game. Kern hands it off again to Walker, who gets stuffed by Niles Pickney.
Wake Forest is just not able to run up the middle tonight. They're getting all their yards either by intermediate passes or outside running, but they are not running up the middle, and it's just been a relentless evening against them.
And across the back of the end zone, looks like the Wake Forest player says he came down with it, but then the baseline judge says no. Official
that's incomplete.
Says incomplete. And kicks it and hits the goalpost.
Wow.
It looks like, what is that? Was that 2 missed field goals for him now?
2 misses, same kind of way. Missed it, hooked it, and this one actually doinked off the goalpost. Yeah, interesting point about next weekend. I know that I understand Virginia and Virginia Tech got postponed, and so did Memphis and Houston. But it sounds like Houston was able to replace Memphis in a week's time. Houston's playing Baylor next weekend, and from what I understand, Virginia's moving their game up with Duke up to September 26th, just so Virginia isn't waiting a full month before they start their season against Clemson.
All right, so kind of slow now. Kind of slow.
Yep. We got some championship dogs, championship pups coming in to the feed.
And it looks like DJ still in the game. Hands it off to Pace for looks like minus a yard or no gain. All right, so and Notre Dame got got 2 preseason number 1 votes for the ACC. That would have been pretty ridiculous. I guess they were Notre Dame writers.
Dan Wolken.
Oh, don't even get me started. I wasn't expecting to see Pace this much, or DJ without Tyson getting in there as well.
I kind of wish that Clemson would allow DJ to let it rip a little more. I know they don't want to run up the score. I don't think you're going to see many deep shots, but just one time, let him rip it down the field. Let him run.
DJ takes a little bit of a sneak there, up maybe 3 more yards, and can't convert. It's 4th down. That's a little bit concerning. It seems like, you bring in your backups in there too, but are they also bringing in their, bottom of the book playbook, back of the book playbook?
I mean, I think there's a couple of factors here. It's like I don't think they're going to try to. Number one, they're not going to try to open up the playbook too much right now because of week one. But two, I think this is a different circumstance than any other time that we played Wake Forest, where in times past, we've kind of let it rip on Wake Forest because it's a week after Syracuse when we've had to come back and we need to respond or have a big game to just show our response or Clemson's response. But this is an opener. Wake Forest is limping into this game without its best playmakers. Their quarterback is out. Getting these young freshmen reps is the best thing about this. And at least getting DJ comfortable is probably the biggest part about this. They're not going to try to go out there and do anything crazy. So you could say it's concerning, but whether you're seeing a 54-3 game versus a 37-3 game, I mean, I'm not complaining.
I'm looking at the stats here. Lots of receivers now. DJ 2 for 3. Let me refresh this. I feel like he's got more, but nope. DJ 2 for 3, 16 yards. Seems like the play calling's not as strong anymore, but as far as carries go, ETN 17, Rencher 7, Pace 5, Spector 1, Bowman 4, DJ 1, Trevor Lawrence 7. So Pace, up there is the third guy, at least. Well, I say the third guy. Trevor Lawrence is really the third guy, so you say fourth guy. Then you've got 3, 6, 9, 11 receivers with at least one reception. With Rogers and Galloway and Gata is your top 3. ETN as well up there. Again, Cornell Powell. I mean, 2 receptions, 15 yards. Obviously, he Trevor Lawrence leaned on a Rodgers and Galloway a lot. And I believe, tight ends in general, it seemed like he was, when he needed it the most, that and Amari Rodgers, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Scores from around the league, again, asking for Louisville. Let's see. Louisville 35-14, so they're up by 21. So that's good, but there's a whole quarter left to go.
Kind of surprised that game's not a little worse.
Game's kind of winding down now. Clemson defense back on the field. Long pass over to the left-hand side. It's overthrown with Malcolm Green out there covering. It's got to be kind of a boring time when you're the starter, like Travis Etienne. Like, how do you keep yourself focused when you know you're not getting in the game anymore?
Just enjoy.
Fake handoff, a short pass down the middle, and he gets by his first defender and makes a big-time run up the field for a big-time gain, number 5 there for Wake Forest. .25 missed the tackle there. That was Jalen Phillips, a safety out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, missed the tackle, allowing Robertson to get up the field. Tyler Venables shaking up on the play, number 12, hobbling off. Hopefully he's okay. Brent Venables talking to Kane Patterson about the situation. Patterson, number 17 on defense. We're waiting for Wake Forest to break the huddle. There's no timeout taken, but there was an injury, but, he's been off the field. I don't know what's going on here. Wake Forest hikes the ball, drops back to pass. To the end zone, left-hand side, he's open. And in the corner, backhand corner, Donovan Green catches it against Malcolm Green. Was he open? He was open, but was he in bounds?
I think his right foot was out of bounds.
I don't think he got the full foot in bounds. It's hard to say.
Yeah, he's out of bounds.
Yep, he's out of bounds from that angle.
He's really good, though. I have to say that.
A delayed handoff just basically did nothing. A 1-yard gain for Wake Forest. But yeah, Donovan Green is definitely someone that I think we'll be talking about as far as, the next good Wake Forest wide receiver out there, which is a good thing. Like to see what the ACC can bring to the table on a national scale. 3rd down and 9 from the 18-yard line. He keeps it, looking to keep it, but then ends up getting sacked. But there's a flag on the play. There's Jordan Williams, Justin Maskell, and Brian Brzee on the sack there, holding on the offensive line because they weren't going to contain any of those guys. And are they going to accept it or decline it?
They're gonna try to kick another field goal down late by this much. I'm shocked. At least try not to get into the end zone or get a first down.
Yeah, they're just trying to get points on the board more than they had the past 2 years.